Yo, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Gurren Otaku Council podcast. As always, I'm your host, Ace McMillian, and this is episode 66, where today we got it. We finally got the finale. We're talking about the end. AOT, Attack on Titan, the finale, chapter 4, final season, chapter 2, 3, whatever you want to call it. So many goddamn parts to this. It didn't make any sense, but it's finally over. The Attack on Titan finale discussion, everybody. But of course, before we get to all that, if you'd like to join me and my friend McMillian to discuss all things anime, sometimes manga, then please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, as well as follow us on social media so you can stay up to date on all things about the council. With that being said, the council is now in session. Let the meeting begin. All right, everybody, welcome back for another week. Hope everybody's doing great. How you doing today, McMillian?
I'm doing good, my friend. How about yourself?
Doing good. So as always, we're gonna get started with the agenda today.
Yep. So for the agenda, we have council announcements. Then we'll be discussing the AOT finale. Then we'll be hitting you with our weekly recommendation, and then wrapping it all up with JJK episode 39 discussion / review. So.
All right, that is correct. And like he said, moving on into some council announcements. As everybody can probably see here, I paid the light bill. Got some new lights in the back room, the back studio here, if you will, the dojo. The dungeon, or the cave, as I like to call it. Hopefully my video quality is a little bit better now. Moving on from there, we do want to remind everybody that our last episode, our Kingdom of Ruin review, as well as we also did review the episode 38 and 37 of JJK, A New Challenger Appears, is now live on both on your favorite audio platform as well as YouTube. So, definitely go and check that out. Once again, we're the JJK is our featured anime for the season, so we're going to be covering the Shibuya arc until it's over with, and then once that's done, we'll be picking a new featured anime. But All right, moving off of there as well, we do want to remind everybody that we are on the road to 100, our first 100 subscribers. So once again, if you're fucking with the content, you're fucking with the boys, then hit that like and subscribe button. Show some love. And all right, and then last but not least today, there will be no news this week. No news segment this week. There wasn't really a lot of news. Very, very light news this week. Nothing really important in our mind to us really to really discuss and share with you guys. Other than we do have one announcement for news. We just want to let you guys know that we back up. All right, let everybody know that we back up because Christmas came early. All right, Zom 100, the finale, episodes 10 through 12 are coming out on Christmas Day. So The hiatus is over. Well, I guess officially not over, but the finale is going to be premiering on Christmas Day. What you got to think about that, McMillian?
I think that's pretty good. I think based on just go what you said, the hiatus might not be over, but at least we have news, right? Like before it was indefinite, and now it's like, okay, in a month on most people's favorite holiday, we'll be returning with 3 episodes. So.
Correct.
It'd be good.
Yeah, it was really a shame how the production for Zom 100 was handled. Like I said last time, I just hope none of the production staff or anything was wrong. Nothing happened with anybody. I hope everybody's with the staff is okay. But it was just sad that Zom 100 was going through all those delays and stuff, because I did think it was one of the best shows, if not the best show of the summer season. So it was just a shame to see it get delayed like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. But that's all the council announcements that we have for today. Now we're just going to hop straight into our first discussion for today. And it's going to be a long one. It's going to be an interesting one, but AOT finale. So McMillian, it's finally over. How you feeling?
It's odd. It's been a long journey, but it's kind of surreal because it's just like, man, I started watching this in high school and now it's like over, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about, like, just to see it and everything. But like, it had a great, in my opinion, it came to a good conclusion.
Yeah.
I'm ready to see. I think like if the author decides to work on other stuff, I'm ready to see what Isayama does bring. But yeah, this is a wild ride, and it's dope to see it like come to its actual conclusion.
I agree 100%. It's like you already said, it's been a wild ride. I'm glad it's finally over. I don't hate the ending. I do have my one nitpick with it here and there, but of course, we're going to get to it. But I don't hate the ending. I do think the ending was nice overall. But yeah, I'm just, I'm finally glad it's over. And I will say, I do think AOT has solidified itself as an all-time classic with this ending as well. Cause the whole series was just peak. It just had to, end on a
Mm-hmm.
good note. And I did think it did do that. So now we have an all-time classic. AOT will stand the test of time, guarantee it.
Yeah, no, I think. Well, I mean, I think what the was it the way what the anime focuses on war, peace, all that. How like it's a cycle of everything. I think that'll definitely, no matter like what age, that'll always be um a story that anybody could like get into. So definitely agree.
100%, 100%. And so, definitely one thing I do want to highlight before we go any further, I want to give a shout out to the motherfucking animation staff for
Mm-hmm.
this episode because them boys or girls pop the fuck off.
Indeed, indeed.
This episode looks so clean. There is no complaints. Like I don't listen. Hats off to the animators because they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, you felt. I man, they did such a good job. I think with everything, like the emotional weight, the physical weight, all that was there. A serviceable. What an amazing way to end it off on. So hats off to you, animators.
All right, so let's let's go ahead and dive into it a little bit. Okay, so the final battle. So let's just go and get into it. The final battle.
Mm-hmm.
The Scouts versus Aaron. Do you think I guess the not necessarily the weight of the final battle, but I guess the toughness of the final battle. Do you think it was a good level of toughness for a final climax?
In my opinion, yeah, I think they did a great job. I think selling out the weight of like just all of what they had to do because it wasn't just like, oh, so simple as is fine, cut off the head of the founding of Aaron's founding Titan form, and that's it. They had to get their way through past Titans, figure out where
Yeah,
Zeke was, and all like that whole body thing, and then I think like try and understand how Titans came to be about and everything, like with the whole with Ymir's story in and of itself too. So I think they did a great job pulling, like making that actually feel like a final fight. Like this is
yeah.
something we had to pull off.
And I'm glad you brought that up early, the past generation Titans. I thought that was a nice touch and I thought that was dope as fuck because when they first appeared on the back of air and all those different Titans and everything, the first thing that came to my mind was those the past generation Titans right there because like you could tell it was so
Mm-hmm.
obvious before they even figured out themselves. Like I was like, that's them boys right there. So I thought that
Yeah.
was a nice touch. I did love that that little twist to the end for the climax there. And it was nice to get this. First of all, also Rainer, the motherfucking MVP for the battle.
Oh,
I don't
great.
care what
Yeah.
nobody say. If Rainer was the MVP for this battle, my man's was holding it down the entire time. The entire time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he really was going for like as hard as he could, I think, to make sure that they pulled off everything. And it was I think it was somewhat of a redemption for himself as like because we get to see Rainer start as like like I think when when you first believe Rainer and Berto are a part of the Scouts, they're Rainer has like kind of this hero complex about him, and like
Yeah.
I'm doing this for a good reason, and then we find out oh he's been lying the whole time, and that caused internal struggle within him to the point like where we see within like the final season, quote unquote, him start to struggle with that guilt and like what that's doing to him, and to see him put all like be able to push past all that and everything to be like I need to save humanity. I actually get to be the good guy or whatever. It it was just really nice conclusion I think for his character.
I agree. I agree. And yeah, he got to live out the rest of his life with his mother as well. So he did get a nice ending. So
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, Rainer was the MVP, so he deserved the nice ending as well. But then I mean, if I had to give it to somebody else in terms of usefulness, maybe because Mikasa really didn't do anything until the end. But we're gonna get to Mikasa a little bit later. She didn't really do anything until the end. She did have she did have that one moment I will say, and it was one of my favorite moments in the episode when when Annie pulled up and
Mm-hmm.
Mikasa pulled up on Annie. Annie threw Mikasa at the that goat Titan looking
Yeah,
Titan.
the
Yeah.
Oka, the Okiap. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it either, so I just call it a goat. But yeah, that was dope as fuck too. But Levi he
Am I?
didn't get to do as much as I would like from him for our comments,
Mm-hmm.
but he still got to show off though, so that was
Oh yeah,
great.
no. He had his moments. I think if you were asked to ask me besides Rainer, I'd probably say Falco, simply
Okay,
because without him, I don't think they would have made it.
even though we
Because
know Falco was definitely plot armor
well, I
for
mean,
the finale, but
partially because it's like I agree with you slightly, only because like they did set up the fact that like he was the Jaw Titan. The part that's plot armor is how the Jaw Titan is not the Beast Titan. Why is he why is he a bird? Like they don't there's nothing that explains why he's a bird.
it's okay, but it's cool as fuck, so I'm gonna let you slide with it this time.
Exactly. That's exactly kind of how I felt. I was like, this did he? I was like, Zeke. He didn't eat Zeke. He ate the Jaw Titan. I mean, granted, the bird had a big ass jaw, but it was a bird.
No, I feel you when I saw Falcon coming in, because through all the trailers, they was showing Mikasa with the bird and stuff. I was like, I know goddamn well Mikasa ain't finna pull out no wings in this damn finale. What the hell is going on? And then we finally get to it here, and they show it proved to be Falco the entire time. I was just like, oh, okay. Well, it's plot armor as fuck, but it's cool as fuck. So hey, it is what it is.
Exactly, because in my head, my whole thing was like, okay, Falco at some point is going when they became the Jaw Titan. I was like, at some point him and Annie are probably going to come back and help them. I just didn't know like how the fuck. I didn't know how they were going to do it. That was the whole thing. And then to see that Falco was a bird,
and lo and behold,
I'm like, that wasn't on the bingo card.
No, that was definitely not on the bingo card.
So
not at all. But one thing, but I do want to touch on this before I forget it, because I forget things real quick. The past generation Titans, they were cool as fuck, and I'm gonna say now, if we had some of them version of the past generation Titans in this in our AOT verse, I don't know, we would have made it. Did you see all those different types of? First of all, the Warhammer Titan alone has so many different variations. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming the reason, or like those Warhammer Titans, like the reason they were so good is because they probably existed during the time of Titan War,
time of war and stuff like that.
Yeah, because the one we got rocked so hard because I don't think it was that person was not used to fighting. So hey, but that was those were like the highlight for me. I think when they popped up, I was like, oh, look at like how they're using the weapons and all this stuff like that. Like they have arrows, stuff. Was it? Oh, the Bertholds thing was cool. Like, because at first I was like, oh, there's no way they can make a Colossal Titan, and then the way they did it,
yeah.
I was like, okay, never mind.
Let me shut up. Yeah, no. But did you see one of them? I believe it was a Warhammer Titan. The motherfucker made a fucking missile. Did you not see that? Like that, I was like, what is going on here? Like, first of all, if any Titans was pulling up with missiles for us at Paradise, it's a wrap. We're not stopping that. We're not stopping that.
That was wild. But and the one thing I really like to think about the final fight was seeing the durability or the usefulness of the Cart Titan. Because Peak popped off. I ain't go like, because at first I think everybody is like, the Cart Titan is probably the most not the greatest,
the most useless Titan.
Yeah, probably is probably everybody's mind. And then you see her blitz a whole bunch of people
by herself.
By herself. And then I'm like, okay, well, never mind. You proved why you here. I get it now.
Yeah, and so. Okay, so before we get to the full end, I'm gonna touch in the middle part of the climax review, because I know you had a semi issue with this, or just some questions about it. So one of the main twists they threw into this climax was Ymir coming and fighting against the scouts, as well as starting to fight off with kidnapping Armin, right?
Yeah.
She's kidnapping Armin because Armin is the Colossal Titan, he's the strongest Titan, person there essentially. Take him, and he's the leader. No, just take him out the way, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Get that out the way, right? Fast forward, turns out that Armin ends up getting suffocated from being held by this Titan, because fuck you, Armin. I'm gonna kill you because you're trying
Basically.
to kill everybody. He ends up being suffocated and gets turned into gets moved into the path. And I am gonna jump. I'm probably jumping a little bit ahead in here to our end of discussion here, but this is in terms of my mind. This is I had to say this now. So you was mentioning, was that Ymir's way of siding with the scouts as well, or like was she intending to bring Armin into the past by
Mm-hmm.
killing him?
Yeah. So like,
And I thought that was an interesting point when you mentioned that yesterday.
yeah. So like so for me, like the reason I think I like bring up Ymir and not just like say the past like the past Titan bearers do or like
Yeah,
siding with them is because who it's not like we knew who was controlling the donkey looking beast Titan, if that was the beast Titan,
pretty sure it's Ymir
but
though.
yeah, but it's pretty sure it's Ymir, and if her point was to put
Oh,
him
I
in.
see what you're saying. You're talking about like in terms of that which past generation Titan that was like actual person. I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, like we don't actually know who that was and like
Yeah,
why they would side with why they would care to side with the scouts. But if Ymir, after learning everything from Aaron, and I mean even not to jump into I guess into like the end of our discussion with the Aaron's whole plan, but like even say like that was Aaron or something, it's interesting because it's just like what like is Ymir's did Ymir also at some point realize like this is just like as much as I was angry, as much as I possibly also wanted revenge for my people, because that's kind of like what Aaron appealed to her with in the path is that like we could be free. You don't have to be like a slave to your wants or feelings or chains. Like, did she realize maybe this is too far
yeah,
and bring Armin into the paths to convince Zeke and the other past Titans that humanity decide that needs to still live on or some way, shape, or form? Like, was that like her way of being like, hey, this is a lot more than I thought, or like this is just a lot more than I think I truly wanted.
correct.
Let me course correct here, and this is how I'm going. And Armin's in her mind, either through Aaron's memories or whatever, or just knowing all of the descendants of hers, she needs to get Armin to communicate with Zeke, and that would spur the stuff that
That's about to happen essentially
Mhm.
because like like we already stated, founder Ymir has the ability to look into the past and the future. So she probably saw, like you mentioned, if she saw a future with Armin and Zeke leading the rebellion against him and actually succeeding, then she got to figure out a way to actually get this man into the path. So
Mhm.
you got to kill him.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was an interesting theory. Me personally, I would like to believe Ymir probably at that time was still on the path of destruction. I don't think she probably was on the like, okay, I'm gonna turn around
Mhm.
side until we got to the end where we were seeing Mikasa cut off our boy Aaron's head. I think that was probably the point, maybe then. But I don't know. But
But
that's still a good theory, though.
I mean, I'm just only saying that because everything like after that point seems to be purely Aaron driven, and
Yeah,
like my opinion based on like how it ended and like what was going on. Like the only
yeah,
thing that wasn't Aaron driven was I forget the name. Well, actually, they don't say it in the anime, but that like life parasite thing that comes
mm,
out of the founding titan. There's a name for it. I just can. It's in the manga. Like I only know it because I think I watched somebody talk about it on
okay.
YouTube or whatever. But like I can't remember. It has a name. But that thing, I think that's the only thing that Aaron wasn't like controlling because it just at that point I was like, I'm pretty
Because
sure
it
he
was
just
essentially it was that's a sentient being essentially,
yeah at that
and
point.
the source of all the powers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
I get, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know, but
it's a right it's a middle point. All I ask that if you're listening to us to just consider like what are your thoughts on it, because that's
yeah,
kind of where I was like in the head. I couldn't figure out really like was this Ymir's intent to grab Armin, or could this have just been also a part of Aaron's grand plan, which we're probably going to talk about here in a little while. But like
that grand
those
plan, boy.
because I was about to say these things seem to line up, but also like detract because it's like why do it since you were
Hmm.
so gung ho to even like start the rumbling in the first place? So
In the first
it's
place,
interesting.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, and then also um before I forget, the past Titans, like you said, everybody rallying, Zeke and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I am glad that at the end it was our boy Levi. I am glad it was Levi that got to take out Zeke in the end, and it was it was a nice scene too at that.
It was,
but yeah, it was just nice to. It was just a nice touch, a good moment because Zeke finally came. That was after Zeke came to a realization, like, all right, you're right, Armin, we got to stop this. We got to stop Aaron. After he had his whole conversation with him, and then he just pop up at the end, like, hey, what's good, what's good, Levi? Happy to see you. Well, not happy to see you, really, but
yeah, that was funny. I think for that reason, but also how quickly Levi murdered him.
Because he knew what time it was. He was like, oh, well, thank you, Zeke, for showing yourself.
Yeah, it was just everything happened so fast. I think like after that point, but it was just, so this was very amusing to me because as we know, Levi has had a vendetta for Zeke since they came in encounter with each other. So it was just a very satisfying way to end that relationship, I think.
Yeah. And also, okay, now this is where I'm gonna start diving into some of the parts of the finale I did not like a little bit. The explosion scene, as cool as it was, why is his Armin's Colossal Titans explosion big enough to essentially take out the entire founding fucking Titan? Because somebody explain that to me. We have seen this explosion before. It was never that big before.
Was it not? Because he blew up most of Marley when he activated the Titan's power then as well. Like he blew up a good the dock and a good portion of the city.
But you saw how big the founding Titan is compared to a regular Colossal Titan, my guy.
But Armin was as big as the Colossal founding I don't know what that last form was. I don't know what the fuck to call it. But Armin,
I'm assuming they're just regular Colossal Titan sizes, though. I don't think they had any extra inches on them. I don't know, pause. I don't think they had anything on them.
Nah, pause. Oh my god, it's funny. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Like the way I always imagine Armin's like Colossal Titan is that it might be bigger than Berthold's, or at least that just how I don't know if that's how it always looked to me. That could also just be like how I interpret it though. But it is interesting to think because when Berthold transformed into the Found Titan, nothing was getting exploded. So is this just the fact that Armin is more in tune with, like, they don't, it's weird. I feel like I'm in JJK domain expansion territory. What's the difference here?
Is his big boom bigger than Barrow's big boom? Is that what y'all telling me?
I mean, the only thing I'll give them credit for though, like the creator, is that he has shown that people's Titans' powers or abilities seem to differ depending on who holds the power.
Who holds the power? Yeah, I would give him that.
Instance,
yes,
like not Ymir the god or the original, but Ymir, but the Ymir that was in this. Yeah,
was she the card Titan?
No, she was Jaw. She was Jaw.
Okay.
Yeah, so Ymir, when she had the Jaw Titan's powers, it was skinny. She had a big head and her teeth were sharp. But when I can't remember their names. When Marco had it, he actually had like a protruding jaw that was like made out of bone and stuff like that. And I think they said his wasn't as fast as Ymir's or something like that. So like,
but his biting power was stronger though.
Stronger, yeah. So like, different attributes seem to attach themselves differently to people depending on if they get the founding Titan.
He also had sharpened claws too. Them and Ymir did as well.
Yes, they did point that out as well. Yeah, so the author did already show that different people holding one of the 9 Titans do have different like abilities or
yeah, and then
talents,
he showed that off with the past Titans in the finale as well, how they all had different abilities and stuff as well. I was just saying, I just thought it was weird.
It is very odd thing not to just leave up to, again, me. Like, I'm filling in the blanks right now, so like it is quite all I'm saying is like, at least he set something up for it to be like, hey, different people with the different 9 Titan abilities have different talents or like excel at one thing,
different things. So
Armin's thing is explosion. him and Megumi, they like this.
Yes, I just thought that was weird, but yeah, I mean, I didn't mind it though because it was cool as fuck though. Because of course, I mean, of course, it's part of your plan. I'm gonna blow Aaron up. Why not? It's part of my, it's part of my abilities.
I mean, even besides Armin, the plan seemed to always be some type of explosion because they had the dynamite to take off his head.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is interesting. I think it's interesting to think about just because what was Armin in the beginning like, hey, if we actually couldn't make it through all these bitches, was it just gonna be like, all right, fuck it, like I'm a hope I'm strong, my blast is strong enough to take out the whole thing. So
yeah, and then he took out probably a lot of Colossal Titans with him as well. I'm not sure how far the main group of the Rumble was ahead of Aaron, but he probably took out a few Colossal Titans as well.
I mean, they seem to stop moving when Zeke got disconnected. So
yeah. And then that scene with everybody jumping off the cliff though was fucking crazy, bro.
Passing the baby up, that was so impressive visually. Even though it was just like a black and white thing, I think it hit.
Yes,
it hit home perfectly. Of just like
it hit hard. It hit so hard.
Because to me it was like a metaphor of like how much humanity, like even at the precipice of its own destruction, is willing to try and survive, because like the baby was completely new, which is just like an example of like life continuing. Like they were like, hey, even though this baby's mom's dead, even though like all these, like we pushing technically all these people, this is a child that has limitless, but we don't know what this kid could do.
And then also before you keep going, the baby was so dude, like the mother had the baby there, like she was having the child there during the rumbling and all that. It was crazy.
That's right. It was like before. Yeah, I forgot about that. So symbolism. Oh my god. That's all I can say. Such a good finale. Oh.
Yeah, it was a good finale, but yeah. So now let's get to the final climax. After our boy Armin does his big explosion, and he does his big explosion. We see the sentient centipede, the space centipede, try and reattach itself back to Armin, but the MVP, of course, ain't having none of that. Reiner pulling up, he ain't having none of that. Him and the other, Titans, of course, they came and stopped them. And then that's when we saw our boy Mikasa and Levi come in for the kill blow. Fantastic action sequence. Fantastic. Maybe I wanted a little bit, maybe could have made it just a smidge bit more, no longer, but still, overall, fantastic sequence.
I'm really trying to think if I wanted that longer. It was so good that like lasted a bit of them.
And by longer, I just think maybe a little bit more of the navigation to actually get to Aaron. Like maybe you see a few more obstacles, might have some of our friends come and help them out as well. But still, it was cool as fuck though.
It was. I mean, like watching them trying to navigate a battlefield between two colossal titans. Yeah. Dodge the dirt and rocks that they kicked up and stuff like that. That was just.
Yeah, 100%. Then we saw our boy Levi shoot the missile that broke Aaron's mouth open so Mikasa could get in there and get the final shot off, which I didn't think she was gonna do at that instant. I thought she was gonna like hug him and then like was gonna see her slice his head up, but no, she went for the kill blow. She went for it.
She sliced it up and then made out with it. It was kind of weird, but hey,
little bit weird, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Attack on Titan. There was naked people eating people. I don't expect too much. Too much. I expect a lot of weirdness. So I mean, hey.
Correct. But yeah, and that was it. She cut our boy heads off, and Ymir just staring there, looking at her like, "Great job, my daughter." No, the world made no peace.
The world made no peace.
And then we finally get to the end. Now, before I continue, I want to preface our audience by saying I do not hate the ending, but this is a discussion and review, and when I see something that I don't like, I'm gonna point it out, and I'm gonna be critical of stuff I like as well. So,
as you should.
Once again, I did not hate the ending. Overall, I enjoyed the ending. So, let's just start there. So the ending, overall, the true ending, the true ending of Attack on Titan. Let's just go ahead and get that part out the way. The true ending of Attack on Titan. We see, after the war between, the scouts and Eren, there's a short time of peace in the world. But then they show that the conflict and the war, it keeps going again. It starts back up. The island of paradise still is at war. We know this because at the end of the series, they were explaining how the Jaegers was on their bullshit, even at the Aaron's death. So it's not surprising that even with Aaron gone, that the Jaegers still got into some wars with everybody else, with the rest of humanity. But the cycle continue. We see Paradise go through evolutions and years and eons. We see the city get built up to one day it finally all gets destroyed, and then we just see this young little boy, going through the ruins of Paradise Island, and he comes to where Aaron was buried, and we see that Aaron has that burial place has essentially turned into the same tree that that the founder Ymir found, right? Which basically means that the cycle continues. This young child is going to rediscover Titan powers, and it's all going to start all over again. Mm-hmm. I don't hate that, dude. How do you feel about that? Because I don't know I'm gonna get to a little bit later. I don't think that was necessarily people's issues, but me personally, I don't have no problem with that ending in itself, the true ending.
Yeah, no, I don't have an issue with that either. I think shout out to Fallout, one of my favorite video games. War never changes. So I think that has been like that in and of itself has been somewhat of Attack on Titan's message, is that like people in general, eventually war is going to happen, fights are going to happen. You can't really truly ever, I think, stop violence. You can hopefully through storytelling like this and stuff like that, we can realize the error of our ways and hopefully one day do it. But like, will it ever truly happen? Because eventually societies fall. People, you lose teaching, stuff like that. Like within a million years, parody doesn't even probably knew it was parody. It was just like, we exist, and then somebody came to fuck with them. The world got fucked up. New humans come, starts the cycle all over again. I thought that was good, because I think that's just how that I think that's just how they've decided it's going to work for life. Like it's a cycle. It has to keep going. The thing I thought was interesting, or like good, I think, is that they show that technically, I mean, I know like people might get a little weird with this. Technically, Aaron's weird plan that we're about to talk about did somewhat work, because parody itself, at least, had peace for a long enough time to make itself seem like a utopia until those missiles and stuff came. So, I mean, like I said, like it gave it, even though it was like in an end credits type thing, great. I think shows a great process, great ending. So
yeah,
I think I have no issue with that.
Got you. And then, so yeah, now let me get to my issue. So here's the issue. My issue isn't the ending itself, but Aaron's decision and reasoning for what he did. Mm-hmm. Because to me, it makes absolutely no sense. And also, it's like through that entire final conversation that he's having with Armin, it's like he's contradicting himself throughout the entire conversation. He starts the conversation off by letting Armin know, like, hey, I was trying to do all this for all you guys, for my friends. I want you guys to be the hero that saved the world. That's why I pushed you guys away from me, so you could eventually end up, coming to try and stop me and killing me. Right. So, we get that whole explanation. Then he further goes to explain to where he starts saying that, I had to put all this together. I let a countless of possible scenarios that I saw. This was the only outcome. So we had to put this together, right? This was the only outcome. Mm-hmm. Why was this the only outcome?
According to him, he couldn't see any other way. That is at least what it says at the end of it. That he couldn't see any other way other than this being the only way.
That as well. Then after he says that he couldn't see it any other way, he then goes to further explain that I wanted to level everything because I wanted to see this view being that just the, I guess, the blue sky and just the world, sky, the blood ocean, just, leveled everything, whatever. How the scenario that they were showing us was like, I wanted to see this scene. Armin asks him why. He says, I don't know. I just wanted to see it so very badly. Mm-hmm. Excuse me? Oh, but not to mention, out of all this conversation, in the middle of it, he goes to explain, Armin, my mind is a total mess right now. I'm basically insane. He's essentially told Armin, my mind, I have gone insane. The past with the founding Ymir's with the founding Titan's powers, there is no sense of past or future.
Okay.
It all runs together simultaneously. My mind is a mess, Armin. So we have already established that the motherfucker done lost his mind. Now what am I supposed to do with the rest of his confession? Somebody please tell me.
So I was we were talking. Me and Ace talked about this like before we started recording. My only thing is like I think the whole I lost my mind thing is to explain some of the idiosyncrasies of just like how there was no other way to get here, yet I was able to make decisions that led to this decision that led to this conclusion. It's a huge ass disconnect. But I think like that's the only way to explain that is I'm basically insane from the fact that everything is happening all at once. My decisions, I'm not even totally sure like what fully their outcome will be, even though I also know the outcome. Which when you hear me say that sentence, you're like, what the fuck? And so I can see why Ace is also like, what the fuck? I'm also somewhat like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know, man. It's just I was like, man, what are you talking about? What are you saying to me right now, Aaron? And then so you like you go in this whole elaborate discussion about how this was the only possible outcome, but then you say I wanted to basically destroy everything. Like I essentially wanted to. You said I wanted to live everything. Meaning you wanted to destroy everything. You wanted to do this. This was something you wanted to do. No matter out of all the possible outcomes, you always wanted to do this. So even though you still wanted to stop yourself, you still wanted to do. You still wanted to essentially destroy the world. Like it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like, do you want to destroy the world or you're not? And then I mentioned this the other day when we was recording about. I really think the writer felt bad for Aaron at the end, and he tried to come back and he puts a little bit of redemption to what Aaron was doing. But I mean, he should have just went the full venom route. Because once we go genocide, there's no turning back.
Yeah. I mean, I think they could have he could have, instead of saying like, I wanted to see this view or I wanted this, he could have simply said like, I, I realized that this was the only outcome that could have like provided peace for you guys or like peace for parity. I wanted that. And I was willing to do anything to get that. Instead,
To get that.
instead we get him saying, I wanted to see all this destruction, this murder. And it kind of just makes him seem, I mean, well, granted, he already said it was fucking crazy. So it just makes him seem like disingenuous in a way to be like, I wanted peace, but really what I wanted was destruction that led to peace.
Oh my gosh. Then we get this whole Mikasa confessional. I love Mikasa this entire time. Shut the fuck up, Aaron. Shut up. Shut up. You had 4 seasons. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
I don't really have any comment about that only because I was kind of indifferent to it by like that was I'm not I won't say I'm not a fan of romance. If it's written well, it's fine. But like I think the way it felt so tacked on, I think at that point that I'm just like, all right, great. Move this along, please.
She's just sitting there crying and stuff like bro, you just murdered half of humanity. I don't care for your tears right now. I don't care that you wanted to live the rest of your life with Mikasa all happy ever after. You just murdered 80% of humanity.
Mm-hmm. And again, he's
basically because you wanted to do it essentially, even though you didn't want to do it. But then once again, we throw it back in there. He done lost his mind, everybody. We can't forget that he didn't lost his mind, everybody. So I mean, I don't know, and I think for me and probably a lot of other people, this was really the issue with the end. It's just Aaron's reasoning. Really, it makes no sense to me. Are we going full villain route or not?
I mean, like all I can say is this: I'm willing to be like he's the reason we had those sentences, the reason why we got those things, that he really truly wanted to felt like this was the only possible option he had to make it so that his friends could be heroes, potentially live in a world of peace, but he had to become the enemy. The problem, I think, is that the way the author decided to explain it just makes it sound like a whole bunch of jumbled up shit. And I think if you have a problem with that, I think that's completely fine. But to say like the ending itself is bad, I don't necessarily agree with,
No,
because
I
it.
don't think. Like I said, I don't hate the ending itself. I just think it's a little
Oh yeah, no,
confusing.
I wasn't saying you. I was just saying necessarily like to the
Yeah.
manga, because like when I like remember when the manga ended, people were
Oh
sending death.
yeah.
They were talking about people
Yeah.
sending death threats to the author,
Yeah, and
and I'm
everything.
like, this was it fit, like this ending fit the story that you like. We were,
Yeah,
if you felt like this was a bad ending, I don't think we were watching or reading the same thing,
at
because
all.
it worked. Aaron, I mean, like like I said, Aaron's reasoning is flawed, but Aaron also is a flawed character. So it's just like, I mean, you could definitely see. He even says like, the reason we ended up here is because of it's me who has this ability
Because
and
I'm an
not someone.
idiot. I was an
Yeah,
idiot who got a hold of a bunch of power. And I
which
guess that's another way to escapulate everything that happened is, I'm a fucking idiot, but I don't know, man.
it's not satisfying. I can say that it's not satisfying.
It's not satisfying for a
What
series to go for your main character who's essentially, he's the not necessarily the shining beacon in the world, but he's the thing in the world that essentially wants to eradicate the world from of the evil at the time, which was the Titans, right? Aaron was the person. Okay, I want to get rid of the Titans. Titans are bad. They're the bane of all humanity, right? We want to get rid of them. For that, from going from that to, oh snap, there's more humans out there. We're not the last humanity. They're not. There's more people out there. Oh snap! They think we're the bad guys. What do you mean we're the bad guys? We did nothing to you guys. Oh snap! Aaron was the true mastermind behind everything the entire fucking time. Aaron was pulling the strings. And then you get to the finale. Then you be like, oh snap! Aaron had almost like literally full control of everything. Like, he goes into deep details of how he mentioning like the Titan that killed his mom. He sent the Titan to kill his mom because Berthold had to live for all the other other events that had to happen and all this stuff like that. So it's just like, it was even a step further. It was like this man truly had complete control of everything. He was the true puppet master of AOT, of everything. Everything that was happening in the world, just for him to kind of like almost like backtrack. But I did it all for my friends. I wanted to do it all for you guys. Like I was thinking about you guys. It was just, I don't know, man. It was like, why? It was like, oh, we know is we built everything up to this one big conclusion just for it. It's like he tried to backtrack on it. Essentially, I think is what happened. But I think he should have just fully went into it. Like, no, Aaron's the villain. That's just it. Well, not necessarily the villain, but this is, I guess you could say,
he became the villain because he needed to become the villain.
Because his desire to protect his friends became so much that he's willing to kill off 80% of humanity. Should just kept it like that. That's just it. That's my reasoning. I want to protect you guys. This is the way I think. This is the best way I think of protecting paradise is killing everybody else. That's the best way I can think of. You guys want to stop me? Come stop me.
Like I think the idea in theory was good, but I think at some point like they were like, okay, maybe this is. I think they did too much of it. Like for instance, I really liked the part where I think where they first show that Aaron could alter history or like the whatever, was when he went back to his dad and his dad was being a bitch and being like, I can't go through with this, and Aaron was like, hey, you came here to murder these people. Murder them
to do a job.
yeah, do it. And I was like, yo, but like if they just had said he had instances of control where he could do that instead of saying I am the mastermind in charge of the whole thing, I think it would have went a lot better. Because it's not like Aaron or Armin absolves Aaron of his misdeeds, because they say I'm going to hell. They know this wasn't a good thing that they did, but to be like, I was the mastermind behind every instance of my life.
From the episode one, from the very first episode one, where we see Aaron's mom getting eaten by the Titan. He was in control of that. Like everything. Like, come on now.
Yeah, I can definitely see why people were upset by that, but I definitely don't. Again, just to reiterate, I don't think this is a bad ending. I just think that part itself is kind of ludicrous. Like that, I don't think that. I think you could have scaled that back a bit and been like, because as he said, seeing everything happen, everything existing linearly, like at the same time, not even linearly, sorry, just like at the same time, that of course you have a hard ass fucking time moving the pieces. So I could definitely see
Yeah.
what him
And
saying.
then if
I have partial control, but all of it, like that's I don't know.
yeah, and then it's almost like if you wanted to go the insanity route, you should have just went full insanity route. Like just lean full into it. Aaron then went crazy. Everybody lost his mind. We clearly see it. He's not the same person anymore. We have to put our friend down. End of discussion. You know, we just fully go into it or something like that. But I don't know, man. But still, like I said, overall, the ending still fantastic though. Because I mean, in my opinion, what other way were we truly gonna end this? I just don't think Aaron's reasonings and his decisions behind doing the things he wanted, you know, doing the things he did was just a little contradictory in my opinion.
Yeah, that the outcome plus the reasoning is just it gets really like in the weeds. I feel like you have to. It's a lot to untangle, and I don't think that's like a good way to end it. But at the same time, I think everything surrounding it was done great. Was done amazingly. Handcrafted story still ended really good. So I guess with that saying, you want to go ahead and rate AOT?
The series.
I mean, it's the end. It is the end.
It's the end. Hold on, don't put me on the spot like that. The series. AOT the series. Yeah, okay. While I don't think it's the best shit ever made, as some other people do, I do think it is gonna be a timeless piece of literature that has been made. And entertainment, literature, entertainment, whatever you want to, whatever you like to categorize your stuff as. 9 out of 10. I'm 1 out of 10 full series.
There's not much more I can say besides what I've already said, but I think AOT is definitely going to stand the test of time. I think it's definitely going to be something that people are going to want to check out, if not necessarily need to. With that being said, because I also don't necessarily think it's the greatest thing ever written, but it is no doubt like one of the best anime. So I think, in my opinion, I probably have to give it a 10 out of 10.
Oh, so you gonna give it 10 out of 10?
I'm still gonna give it 10 out of 10, even though that ended. Even like I said, I have a little bit of issue with the stuff. I still think if like to me, like if I was to recommend someone, like my 10 out of 10 is basically you need to see this, and I definitely think like at a certain point people
I would agree at a certain point, if you're an anime fan, you have to, you know, put this on your watch list at some point or other. Even though I also will say I do think AOT may not necessarily be for everybody as well, because it is a little weird. And those first seasons, like season 1, especially season 1 and season 2, they're a little bit more on the horror side, if you will, of things. So it may not be for everybody. But yeah, no, it's once again, you know, AOT will stand the test of time. The finale did deliver. It did deliver. No complaints. Well, few complaints, but
few complaints.
But no complaints in terms of animation. Like, no, the animation staff went crazy. But yeah, no, 9 out of 10, man. AOT is a fantastic show. Definitely check it out.
Yes. With that being said, we're gonna move into our weekly recommendation and do this JJK thing real swift and send you guys on your way. So, weekly recommendation, somewhat similar to the thing we just talked about. In my opinion, this is definitely a must-watch series. Code Geass, the Lelouch of the Rebellion. Quick little synopsis: harboring a thirst for revenge against the Britannian Empire for their actions against his family, Lelouch wages war against the Empire using his newfound power and tactical ability. Lelouch goes under the alias of Zero in an attempt to fulfill his childhood vow to destroy Britannia. Just so you know, this is also very much like this is like more so fantasy mixed blend with sci-fi, but it basically has somewhat of the same focus of like AOT. There's a greater enemy, and it focuses around this one character and how he plans to go about stopping them or bringing them to an end. I'm not going to go too deep into it because I really think you should experience this one for yourself. But yeah,
I agree. And I was about to say, I was just about to make a point, but I don't think I want to make that point because I think that will kind of spoil Code Geass for people who haven't seen it. So I'm gonna just leave that to myself.
Yeah, but there are a couple of ways to watch it. There's the original anime, and then there's the movies that kind of focus on a somewhat alternate telling of the show. But you can, in my opinion, I don't think you can really go wrong either way. But I would recommend watching either the series and the movies just so you can see where they like how they split. But really good series. So weekly recommendation: Code Geass, Lelouch the Rebellion.
All right. And then now we're going to head into our last discussion for today, everybody. We're going to be continuing our coverage of the Shibuya incident arc with episode 39, right? 39, Fluctuations Part 2. Boy. So, Fluctuations Part 2. We saw our boy Toji come through the portal, and he is getting jiggy, all right? He's getting jiggy on Dagon, and he's not playing with his ass, all right?
He fucked his shit up.
Yeah, Toji pulled up and dismantled this man with basically little effort, which kind of scares me to a sense because I didn't tell this. I didn't have this discussion with you yet, McMillian, but it almost scares me because it kind of shows us how weak our sorcerers actually are in comparison to just the other curses and just hell and Gojo in general. Because like, for instance, I'm skipping way ahead of here, but at the end of the episode, right, we see, well, not the end of the episode, after we see our boy Toji dismantle Dagon and break apart his domain expansion and everything. He moved Megami out the way. They go have their little one-on-one talk. We see our boy that boy Jogo pull up and just straight up murk, even though they were tired, just murk the rest of the sources. And it's just like, are we really this weak compared to I guess standards, everybody else? Even like, and these are supposed to be our top of the line sorcerers.
Well, see, but that's the interesting thing. That's what I think I really liked about that part, is that you forget that Jogo is supposed to be like as strong, I think, as 5 or 4 of Sukuna's fingers. That's what he's supposed to be worth. And you forget, I think, in turn, because of the fact that he's only gone up against Gojo and how quickly Gojo beat him,
dismantled his ass.
You forget you forget how strong Jogo is supposed to be. Yeah, because Gojo is just that. Gojo is just that strong in his verse that a person of that caliber looked weak to the point where he could take out Nanami, Nobito, and Maki. And Nanami has been shown to be one of the strongest sorcerers, and Nobito has a ridiculous ass ability. Even though we just met him, we know he's worth his stuff too. So it's,
and everybody said, now I will say they were beat up, but they just got taken out in the instant though.
Yeah, it's insane to think. It's just insane to think about. Like, Gojo being gone really negs the team in terms of like power strength that they had. Yeah. Because the bad guys are looking stacked right now.
They are. They really are, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm. So,
but that's all for the more reason for our boy Yuta to pull up on a scene and save the day. He still ain't showed up yet, but I know he coming. I know he coming.
I mean, I know
he coming.
He knew to after this, because I don't know who else could potentially beat Sukuna now that he, up and at him. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but
yeah, just a smidge, but it's okay because we about to get there. And so now, I guess I am going to touch a little bit on this because this was another little thing I was spoiled upon a little bit. And I'm gonna spoil everybody else a little bit. So fuck y'all.
Warning, I guess.
Just a small bit, nothing too big. So I think this is gonna be the point where we start to see Maki do her shit, because I think from getting spoiled, Maki is supposed to do some cool shit in this arc.
Okay. Well, I'm glad, because she was on fire in the last little bit of that episode. I'm gonna need.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's either this arc or maybe the next arc. I could be getting confused because maybe I got spoiled for the Culling Games arc. Maybe I got spoiled for that, so I'm not sure. So it's either this arc or the next arc that Maki does some cool shit. So I'm holding out hope it's this arc.
Okay. Well, regardless, hopefully, if you didn't want to hear the Maki spoiler, hopefully you skip to this part.
Because it's just some cool shit. I ain't say what it was because I don't even know what it was. It's just that she's supposed to be doing some cool shit.
I was only saying slight spoiler because I just skipped like 10 minutes maybe. Like, they're alive, but that's just that's neither here nor there.
I mean, of course, no. I'm not saying I didn't think they were dead. We're not counting anybody dead until we see it. Until the show confirms that they're dead.
True. It wasn't on screen, so well, technically it was on screen, but also it wasn't. Whatever. Yeah. Regardless, after Jogo packed these people up, quote unquote, we find out that Geto's kids. We find out that my theory was correct, that they were trying to appeal to Sukuna, but it wasn't
his theory was spot on. Well, partially spot on, actually. Yeah, it was crazy.
It wasn't through reverse curse technique, but it was through trying to give him more fingers. But they only seemed to have one.
Yeah.
But Jogo, the Sukuna worshiper, was like, "Hey, I got like 4, I got 5 on them, or some shit like that."
He had 10 of them. He had a 10 pack.
10. That was 10. That's right. And fed, and then proceeded to feed them, and Sukuna is back.
Yeah. That was dope. Once that was the exact thing I was thinking about when I was watching that episode. I was like, damn, Jay was right. I was like, that's wild. When I was watching that. But then also when our boy Jogo was feeding the fingers to Ichidori, and he was holding them, I was like, you better take your hands off him now that you done fed all 10 of them. I was like, I don't know what makes you think in your right mind that you're gonna be touching Sukuna like this. Lo and behold, you just get your motherfucking hands off me. You got 3 seconds to unhand me.
It wasn't even that. Jogo pointed after the girls came back from whatever curse technique, which is insane to think about. Someone had a curse technique that could rematerialize them. He tried to point at him, and his arm was gone. And Sukuna was like, "You got 3 seconds to remove yourself from my sight, or like move away, or something like that, so you can stand up." And he left. He jumped. He got the fuck up out of there. Don't gotta tell me twice.
Out of Dodge. You ain't gotta tell me twice, big dog. You got it. I was like, the whole time I was thinking, I was like, I don't know why you still holding this man. Anyways, first of all, I would barely been touching him as I'm feeding him. Let's start there.
Yeah. No, definitely.
But definitely after I gave him that last one, I'm bagging the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then after that, we get to see the most gruesome sight. Because those girls, like my theory was correct, but Jesus Christ, did I not expect? I didn't expect that to happen. Well, I shouldn't say that, because after he awaked, I was like, he probably gonna kill them, and I just didn't think it was going to
happen. I didn't think he was gonna kill them, but when I heard, I don't know, it was just like I don't know, I just knew how Sukuna was thinking already. As soon as I heard old girl make that demand of Sukuna, I was like, yeah, you shouldn't have did that. I think, and then lo and behold, she was the one who died. I was like, there you go.
I think for me, the part where I was like, fuck, you fucked up, is when they were like, if you do this for us. I was like, ooh, you should have said that. You shouldn't have said, if you do this for us, we'll give you a finger. Like, what the fuck? I was like, do not try to do this.
Don't try to bargain with this man. You're not going to make bargains with the king of demons. Like, what?
Yeah, because
this man said, I will grant you one wish, 1 finger's worth of wish. What is it? Not for you to sit here and demand me around.
Yeah, I was just like, the moment they were like, if you do this for us, I was like, no.
Or to make bargains.
That was the wrong. Yeah, I was about to say that was the wrong word or phrase.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. And then the whole scene where he was like, he told everybody to kneel. He was like, your heads are too high. And you see the girls get down, but Jogo just gets on one knee. He was like, what, you thought kneeling was good enough?
Was sufficient? Yeah.
I'm like, this man is a menace. This is what you call a grade A menace,
It's nice to see an inner demon be a demon. I always say that about JJK. It's nice to see the fucking thing that is like, the great evil actually be like evil as hell.
Yeah. And then it looks like with a little bit preview for the next episode, we're going to be getting a Jogo versus Sukuna. Don't know how deep we're going to get it, but we're going to get a small little scuffle at least between the two.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because when he offered that deal to Jogo, basically like, if you hit me, I'll join up with you. I was like, that is too good of a deal to pass up, but also you probably fuck. Like, it don't matter.
Probably, yeah. Point. But at the same time, you're probably already dead anyway. Well, so why not just take your chances? You know what I mean? So
all or nothing on the table, I guess.
Pretty much. Might as well just, yeah. Just throw it in there. We just throw it in there. You know, I might be able to slide past with the domain expansion. Who knows? If I can get him, if I can catch him off guard with it.
If I catch him, maybe this is bit.
Maybe
It
he
gotta
don't
come.
think I got it.
It gotta come after his though, because I got he gonna overpower mine. That's
just throw some dust in his eyes real quick. Throw some dust. Domain expansion. And just get the hit off real quick. Because all I need is one. I ain't trying to beat him. I'm just trying to get a hit. That's all he said. You know, just get one hit.
Just one hit.
You know,
you got it.
Because I believe the reason why he did that, because he probably was trying to he trying to stunt like Gojo did on him when he first came back out again. So now he's feeling some type of way.
Oh, probably. Definitely. I wouldn't doubt it. Sukuna seems petty enough to do that. So,
yeah. I wonder what Sukuna's gonna think if he does end up going down like to fight Geto. You know, he's gonna see Gojo being trapped in the cube. I wonder what he's gonna think of that.
I'm not sure if he'll even do that. He might, just because I know he like fucking with Itadori. He might go find his friends and kill them.
That's like he can't.
Oh, that's right.
Unless he forges a new pact with him, which Jogo was hinting at that he potentially could do. But then, as Sukuna said he got his own plans, so he got his own master plans for something. Oh, and it's also even more crazy because but before we skip, before I lose this man has 15 figures in his body now. Well, he's only missing 5.
That is right. That is true. What will happen? What will?
So it's great. It's crazy to think about. I didn't think we'll get this that close to 20 this fast in the series, but here we are. Which I guess so, because I think people are saying we're coming to the end of the JJK series. So
yeah, I think it's speculated to end to wrap up sometime middle of next year. I think at the latest. I think is what I've heard. So I mean, maybe it's interesting. I always this always feels weird to me because I'm just like, I like it when series like they don't drag on.
They don't drag on. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like also I feel like us as anime fans are spoiled by like Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach because those went on. Those went on for like a good
so long. Yeah,
period of our lives. Like, it makes me miss it somewhat.
I said it before. I said it again. I believe that's why I like Black Clover out of all of them so much, because I feel like it mirrors more the old generation anime the most out of all the new gen.
But it is also getting a pretty not fast conclusion, but like decently like
Yeah, because the author said this is like the final arc. I'm not. I stopped reading Black Clover for a minute. I'm a few chapters behind. I gotta catch all the way back up, but because where I left, well, no, I ain't gonna talk about where I left off because it's gonna get because I don't want to spoil the anime onlys. But yeah, I left off at like the beginning. Not at the beginning of like the arc, that the current manga arc, but like a little bit more towards the middle of it. Yeah, essentially before he left that place. That's what I meant.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But hey, no, the episode. Hey, I'm really looking forward to episode 40. I feel like shit's about to get crazy because Megumi got confronted his dad, and we get the King of Curses versus Jogo.
Yeah, episode 40 is looking up to be a good one because, like I said, we should get a small little scuffle between Jogo and Sukuna, and there's no telling what the hell's gonna happen with Toji and Megumi. So we got 2 different things going on at the same time, and then also technically 3 because our girl Mei Mei
might fight Geto.
She might fight Geto because she did defeat that special curse. So she might pull up on end up pulling up on Geto at some point in episode 40 as well.
Yep.
There's a lot going on right now.
Can't wait.
A lot going on.
So what would you give this episode, Ace?
Like a 7.5.
Oh,
it was nice. Because like nothing crazy happened, but it was really just that beginning action scene with Toji just dismantling Dagon, and then just the rest of the lore with Sukuna and stuff.
Yeah, I think I probably have to give it an 8 because I really enjoy. Like, this is a very enjoyable episode. Just like
yes, it was
like the whole thing with Toji, which if you read online, the manga reader said that fight did not last that long at all in the thing. Like, there was a lot of anime only shots that just kind of like really emphasize how strong Toji is, and I
Yeah.
kind of got to give my hats off to the animation team for that as well. Just Mappa, you killing the game right now.
Yeah, no, Mappa
I mean,
really is
Mappa
killing the game
animators
right now. Yeah, to be specific, yeah, let it be clear here. The Mappa animators, they are going crazy in the year 2023 of our Lord right now.
Mm-hmm,
They
yes.
are going crazy.
Indeed. But with all that, guys, that's a wrap for us. Please let us know down in the comment section what you thought of like the AOT finale and episode 39 of JJK. We would love to hear your thoughts. But I'm gonna go ahead and take us on out of here. So as always, guys, appreciate you for watching this / listening. If you want to stay up to date on all things about the council, please follow us on our social medias. That is at Gurren Otaku Council on Instagram, Facebook, everything except Twitter. We are at Gurren Otaku's there. If you would like to, help us out grow, please hit that like button, that subscribe button, share with your friends. We really would appreciate it. We are trying to get to them 100 subscribers. Guys, come on over, especially if you're on the audio platforms. Come on over, hit that red button. You don't necessarily gotta watch us there, but we would appreciate it if you do. But for my audio listeners, if you want to support, please go ahead and share our audio episodes as well as rate them. That would help us tremendously. But with all that being said, guys, please continue to enjoy anime. Have a great time out there as we get into the holiday season. This is Gurren Otaku Council saying meeting adjourned. Peace out, everybody.